Hi everyone, my name is Daniel Cervantes and I'm here with Leah Culleton from HABA Games, and with your permission, you said I could ask you some questions.
Yes.
Okay, so one question I have is, in your experience, what types of skills can individuals learn through playing games?
Oh gosh, it's inherent for children to learn to play games at a young age because it gives them self-esteem. If mom and dad or a parent plays with them and spends time with them, that shows a child that they're important. That gives them that feeling of, wow, I'm important enough for my parents to play with me. They also learn essential skills like patience, waiting for your turn. They learn emotional skills, how to win gracefully, how to lose gracefully. They learn cooperation. They learn it's essential for children to start playing games when they're young and to continue to play games because it develops them into better people. They develop those life skills that they need, both emotional, physical. You get the learning the numbers, learning colors, taking turns, but there's so much more at playing games.
Okay, when a family or group sits down to play one of your games, what kind of engagement would you expect? So like cooperative, cooperative, competitive?
All of the above.
All of the above, so you have a range of
We have a total range.
Okay.
And what's nice is we're one of the few companies that has games for preschoolers, for that toddler even as young as 2.
Yep.
And the games might have different ways to play them, a cooperative way, but okay, here's a competitive way. Let's just change the rules a little bit to make it a competitive way. So a lot of the HABA games have variations of how to play them, so you can adapt them to the children and to the families that are playing them. That's why we say HABA games aren't just for kids, because a lot of adults will change the rules to make them adult games.
Okay. All right, and so you mentioned that you have all age groups.
Yeah,
so
we primarily concentrate in that 2 to 6, but 2 years ago we went into the 8 and older, into the family games, and we came out with Karuba, which happened to be a Spiel des Jahres nominee.
Okay.
So that's for 8 and older. And then now we have games for 10 and older.
Yeah.
So we've stretched up. That's probably about as high as we'll go, but we are definitely that 2 to 12-year-old games.
Okay.
Yep.
And so, can you name a couple games and just tell us what kind of skills that you would expect someone to learn, like social skills, impulse control?
So I'll name I'll go through the different age categories. So one of my preschool games is called, the preschool games are called My Very First Games, and then you have the name of the game. So I have My Very First Games, The Orchard. And the orchard has big fruit pieces, and the children are cooperating and they're trying to play against a raven and try to collect the fruit so they can make their pies or whatever they want. So they're using their imagination before the raven gets there. If the raven gets there, then he gets to eat all that delicious fruit. And I'm pecking because a bird would peck at it. Then you get up into a little harder game like Rhino Hero. Rhino Hero is one of our it's a card stacking game, and it's got 2 different ways to play it. You're building a tower of cards, and you're trying to be the first person to get rid of all your cards on the tower without it falling over. In one way you play that when you lay the floor that you have to put the walls on it, or you can switch it up and make it harder, and so you're a little meaner to the next person and say, I'm going to make you do this action. So I
force of hand.
Exactly. So that's one way of how one of our games does that.
And that would, from what I understood, it sounds like that would incite the parent to teach their kid how to lose gracefully,
right,
or to cope with a decision that they didn't
make. They didn't have control. Yeah. And then we move up, obviously. Then I have a 6-year-old strategy game called Heroes of Cascaria, and the children are moving characters. They're playing cards. It's card play, and they have to play cards in order to move their characters. And so there's 2 sides to the board, so they have to decide if I'm going to work the left side of the board or the right side of the board, and they're earning gold on their way. So it's just, again, and then once somebody reaches a volcano in the middle, all game stops and you score from the left and the right. So it really gives them that first, now I have to start thinking about what other people are doing, what I'm doing, what I'm going to do with, am I going to save my cards, am I going to lay my cards,
One thing I've heard about Adventureland is that it's good for kids that are on the low end of the spectrum of autism because you learn social skills. Is that accurate?
I think you can say that with a lot of games. Adventureland is more of a strategy. It's a Euro worker placement game where you're trying to place your little guys. Yes, Animal Upon Animal would be more of an autistic game of ours. Animal Upon Animal, the children have to stack animals on top of one another, so a child can play that alone.
Okay.
And they can build a tower of animals and show you what they were able to accomplish. And they can play even rolling the dice, because the dice tells them if they can add another animal to the base. So I've heard that Animal Upon Animal is more apt to be a game for autistic children.
Fit that tactile need that
exactly.
autistic children have.
Yeah, and the pieces are beautiful.
Yeah, I've seen
wooden
them.
pieces made in Germany. Yeah.
Okay. How can counselors utilize your games to help individuals, children?
I think, again, what we started with is using games, and HABA games are a great game to use, but using games to teach people how to take turns and work together to a common end. So Rhino Hero, building the tower together. Animal Upon Animal, building that animal structure together, learning how to take turns. I think that those are great examples of games. In fact, my sister has her PhD in communications, and she uses my games to help teach doctors how to communicate better with their patients.
Some bedside manner.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so she teaches them how what they're saying and the manner in what they're saying affects the receiver of what they're saying.
It's not always about what you're saying, it's about how it's received.
Exactly.
Okay, final question. With there being over 100,000 different mental health facilities in the country, does HABA have a person that goes to them and demos your games, kind of like what the pharmaceutical companies do? They have a representative come out, because likely what would happen is they would buy some of your games and then play them with families
and recommend.
And then in turn they would produce more sales.
Yeah. We don't. The only we work with the Lecotech Center out of Chicago. I don't know if you know the Lecotech Center. Lecotech Center has been very proactive in the toy industry, and we have a lot of toys. HABA does. So I've gotten to know the Lecotech between the toys and the games. But we're small. We're 18 people.
Okay. Well, I didn't realize
we're a really small company. We're just the U.S. division of a German parent company. So we sell primarily to retailers.
Okay.
So that's our primary. This is one of the very few consumer shows that we do, and in fact I'm working with a retailer here at the show.
Okay.
I mean, that would be an awesome next step for us, even getting into schools and libraries and getting people exposed. Just get people playing games and you won't have all those problems.
Yeah, right. You'd have more family engagement,
exactly.
more social skills, kids that know how to
for parents and children.
Yeah.
All
right, well, hey, thank you very much.
Thank you. Good luck.